Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be swatching and creating an eye look with the Milani Most Love Mattes palette. Now I got this palette for Christmas. It has some really pretty shades. There's 16 shades, as you can see. They're all kind of like my colours. So I'm going to swatch them all for you and we're going to create an eye look, which I'm really excited about. I started, I think, when I started filming these, just doing swatches and just doing eye looks. Now I kind of like doing a combination of both so you can kind of see what I think of the shadows. There's quite a few different like browny pink tones and stuff in here, which I really like. They're my kind of colours at the moment. So if you like these kind of videos, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel before you leave. And if you press that notification bell, you'll be notified every time I upload. So there are 12 shadows in total. I have swatched this row already on the back of my hand. You can't really see the top one, but this is a colour that I'd be using to, like, you know, set the lid anyway. That's totally what I would reach for that for. Otherwise I think you could really create an easy look even out of just these 3 shades. So I think these are quite set out and quite like nice rows for you to be able to create a look with. I definitely feel like I could create a look with that row, and then with that row. I definitely think that's totally doable, or you can mix and match, which I've done in the past as well. So now we're going to swatch the second row. Again, that's also quite like a pale shade that you would use to set your lid, or as like maybe a super pale transition. That a very similar shade actually, but it does have a bit more of a pink undertone, whereas that one's a little bit more peachy. That is a really nice kind of purple tone. I think blended out that is going to be so pretty. Now that's like a brown with like a purpley hue. Like if I go like that, you can kind of see the purpley hue. But I feel like a deep brown is like totally necessary in these palettes. I do feel like these bottom two are deep browns, but then I feel like here you can see that this one's a bit more of like a purpley brown and that one is more of like a proper brown shade. So I definitely feel like this is like the row that you'd have your pinky like purpley look going on, which I like because I feel like a lot of warm tone palettes just focus on your oranges and reds and things like that. You don't actually have your pinky purples coming through, which I really love. So the next row is probably like my favourite, like looks wise. It's definitely like the row that I would be most interested in. That again is like a setting the lid colour, or if you're going to have like a pale colour like here, that is what I would use it for. It has like, again, that like peachy orangey undertone. Now that is just like a straight orange, which I think is like absolutely necessary for warm looks. I definitely think this is also like a transition shade, like that second row down is all your like transitions. The top one is like all of your like setting the lid shades, and then you can create like just a bit more depth with the other 2 colours, you know. So that is like a burn orangey red, like it's not like a proper bright red, which I like. I don't feel like that creates like the best look unless you're going for like a colourful look like that. If you're going for like your smoky like neutrally look, these are like colours that work really well, especially considering like this colour. This is a really pretty colour. Like this is just going to deepen everything up without taking away from that red, because it has that like reddy orange undertone. It is just like that warm chocolatey brown moment. So I definitely feel like this first row is like you're setting the lid colours. Possibly this one is probably a bit too pink for that. I think you could add that as like a light transition or like a light colour, like just on your inner corner. This is like your proper transition-y like colours to set up your base. Something just to like blow out in the crease and something just to deepen it up. Creates a really simple kind of matte look. And if you have your single like glitter pigments, then this would work really well with that. Any single shimmers, anything like that. Like this would be a good travel palette because of its size. And then if you just throw like a couple of shimmer shades in there, you're ready to go. And you can create quite a few versatile looks with it. So I am going to show you a look that I enjoy creating with it, and I hope that you will too. I don't use any excess products with that, so I'm not using any like shimmers or anything like that. To me, like, you should be able to buy this and create a look without having to go and buy extra things. So I'm just going to create a super basic look. So I'm thinking of using a couple of shadows from this one, a couple of shadows from this one. I'm thinking not pinky purple today. I have been doing that a lot, like probably on my own rather than on camera. But I definitely feel like something with these shades is going to be really pretty. So I am going to take my Morphe R39 and just jump into this shade here. I haven't got my contact lenses in, so if I do not hold my mirror right here, there is no chance of me actually seeing what I'm doing. They're definitely buildable, they're not super pigmented. which I kind of like. So this has taken like a few dips actually, but you can kind of see a little bit of difference. Like it's not a huge amount of difference. This isn't like a super bold transition. Don't worry, I will be going in with a bit more of like a bold transition, but I do just want to slowly layer and build, layer and build. So next I think I'm going to dip into this shade here. Like I'm definitely feeling like this one, then this one is like the right way to go. This is just the number 6 brush from the BH Rose Quartz set. I will link the video down below that I did reviewing the brushes. That went up on Sunday at some point. I think it was Sunday. No, it was probably yesterday, Saturday, who knows. So initially that was just laying a little bit of base colour. Now I'm actually going in with a bit more of a pigmented colour, so you need to just be a touch more careful with placement. Focusing all the colour here, and then you drag any excess through here. That way you don't get like too bright a shock of colour in the crease. That is quite pigmented, so you didn't need to like layer this one as much. I definitely feel like this is super pigmented. See, what you don't see on camera like is all of this like blending time that you do out of it, because otherwise it just doesn't look quite right. So you sit and blend and build and blend and build normally. But like I said, this is quite pigmented, so like some of the colours you need to pick up more than you would otherwise. So it's just about being like gentle with the shades, dipping and building if you need it. So next I've just dipped into this colour here with my Morphe M433. I find this like the perfect shape for like getting a bit more of like a tighter colour in the crease. Like again, I always just pop most of the colour down just out here and then pull, like, because you can see how tight this brush keeps into the crease. It just pops down colour exactly where you want it. Pops down colour whilst blending because it does still have that like fluffy element to it. Just keep with those windshield wiper motions, keeps it just tucked in nicely to the crease. See, that's definitely added like a little bit of warmth. And you know what? Building and layering and building and layering has kind of given me a bit more of like a smooth transition, which I absolutely love. Like this palette is just blending out so well. I don't feel like I'm having any trouble at all blending. They don't feel like, you know, when you dip in and swatch with your fingers, they don't feel really soft like I have with some other shadows, but I'm having no trouble blending, and personally I think that's what matters. There's also not a huge amount of fallout, which is good because it means I'm not picking it all up off of my face after, you know. So next I'm just going to dip into this like reddy colour. I don't know if this is going to be like the last colour before like I just put like a bit of a light colour on the lid. So I'm just going to pop that like close into the crease and the outer V before I use like a different before I use a different brush to blend it out. I feel like this is like the best way for me. I feel like using this brush is just the best way for me to get like a super close, you know, line. I get it exactly where I want it. I have no problems, you know, with it getting all out here, too dispersed. It just works so well for me. And then I'm going to use the number 7 brush from the Rose Quartz collection and just blend. You can use most blending brushes for this as long as they're not too big. You can pull a little bit inwards this way, but I never like to take it too far in like that because it just pulls all that dark red, you know, too off center. See, that just adds a little bit of depth to the inner corner that we didn't have before. It's so pretty. I'm then going to take this kind of like, it's not quite a flat shader brush in the typical sense. It's not like an eye colour brush. It does have a little bit of like fluff to it. It's from the Jack Willis brush collection. And I'm just going to dip into this shade here that you'd normally use for like setting the lid. And I'm just going to try and like neaten up my lid area, you know. I definitely feel like I need like one with like a straighter edge. But I am loving just placing that colour just here. Like instead of a shimmer shade, it looks very nice actually. That's just my opinion. I am going to neaten that up though. I'm just kind of creating a line using the number 7 eye colour brush. It's just got a little bit more, you know, straight edge to it to do that. That looks so nice to me. Like I am going to blend a bit more like this edge, you know, blend the red into the kind of pale white there. But that is looking really good to me. I'm then going to take a fluffy brush and just blend these colours together and match up evenly on each eye, and then we'll be right back. I will see if there's anything more that I want to do, and then we can focus on the lower lash line. So I am very happy with how the eyeshadow is looking. Like I've got this white on the inner corner with like the reddy orange like fade here, which I am really liking. So I have taken as much of the red off of the number 7 brush as I can get. And I'm going to dip back into this shade just here and just use this to kind of blow out the lower lash line. I'm not feeling anything super intricate. Just blending, focusing here and then pulling colour out towards the middle here. I always pull colour from here and blend through. Just creates a bit more of a gentle fade. And it's always at the end, because I find myself adding colour here, that I blend like the outside of here with just a brush that has nothing on it. This is just the Boots to Blended eyeshadow brush. I find that blending this like so just kind of creates a more faded edge. So I'm going to do the same on the other eye, put mascara on, and then I'll be right back to show you what I think of the palette. So I use the Benefit by Gal Bang Bang mascara just to finish up. I'm really loving how this looks. I don't think I've ever done like a completely matte look before. I've used this like palette before today, but I've always used like a shimmer with it because that's what I was comfortable with, you know. But it looks so pretty and I'm so happy that I created this look. I found this palette like super inspiring for looks like that, like with a bright inner corner like that, but no shimmer. This is a good like palette like for work then, if like shimmer's a bit like intense or something for what you're doing, but to me I can't think of a job where shimmer's inappropriate. But that's just me. I think this is totally worth it. It's really affordable. It's under £20. It's Milani, so it is like drugstore prices, especially if you're like in America. This is the Most Loved Mattes. I'm aware there is another one of this shape and size, but I don't have that, so can't recommend it. But I definitely recommend this one. It blended out beautifully. I find that the colours are definitely like what I would reach for like on the daily. So this is a good travel palette as well, especially considering the mirror. You guys saw me sat there like doing my makeup using it. So if you like this kind of video where I like swatch and try out and create looks with eyeshadow palettes, to me that's the best way of reviewing one. Like you can put your fingers in it, you can see how they feel like, and when you're used to playing with eyeshadows, like feeling them and it's one of those things that to me works so well, and you can kind of get an idea of quality and then play with them on your eyes. I mean, some shadows do swatch quite badly but perform beautifully, and I don't feel like these were the most amazing swatches I've ever seen, but they perform beautifully on the eyes. And I think an entire matte eyeshadow palette is something that most people don't own, so I would totally recommend this. So if you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel before you leave. And if you press that notification bell, you'll be notified every time I upload. Thank you for watching.